Former Cabinet Secretary Soita Shitanda is dead. NCIC Chairman Francis Ole Kaparo condemns ongoing riots witnessed in the country.
The prevailing situation in the country is at most irresponsible, unfortunate, and untenable.
Shuja 7's team jets back ahead of Rio preparations. Now, former Minister of Housing and Member of Parliament for Malava constituency, Peter Soita Shitanda, is dead. He passed on at Nairobi Hospital, where he has been receiving treatment after battling with diabetes for a long time. The late Soita was Malava legislator for almost 1.5 years. Peter Soita Shitanda was born in Kabras, Kakamega County, and later attended Malava High School before proceeding to the Technical University of Kenya. He joined politics in 1997 when he was elected Malava Member of Parliament by defeating the then Minister of Health, Joshua Angati. In 2005, he was appointed as the Minister of Housing after serving in the same ministry as the Assistant Minister. The late has been ailing from diabetes for long. In 2012, he was admitted at the Aga Khan Hospital after fainting till his demise. The late was the chairman of the Famine Committee. Fellow politicians, including Amani Coalition Chairman Musalia Mudavadi and Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula, have described the late as a dedicated legislator who, besides playing his national duty, fought for unity of the Luhya people. The National Cohesion and Integration Commission has condemned the ongoing riots being witnessed in the country following demonstrations being led by CORD, who are pushing for the disbandment of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. While addressing journalists, Chairman of the Commission, Francis Ole Kaparo, said politicians should adapt different ways provided for in the law to push for their agendas.
We are appealing to the political elite and their supporters to reject violence and explore alternative means of resolving the grievances at hand. We urge the government and opposition to act with openness, sobriety, and tolerance in addressing the source of the current impasse.
Moving on, the IEBC stalemate has led to the increase of political temperatures across the country. The recent anti-IEBC protest has led to scores of injuries and loss of property. The government spokesman Eric Kiraithe today, during a press briefing, confirmed that only one person was confirmed to be dead. Different stakeholders, however, have criticized the excessive force used by the anti-riot police, but the police have said they have no apologies to make for the deaths that have occurred on Monday during demonstrations against top officials of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
The government spokesperson Eric Kiraithe has said that only one person has been confirmed dead in the aftermath of yesterday's anti-IEBC protest led by the opposition and 29 anti-riot police injured across the country. He stated that moving forward, the government will not allow such violent demonstrations. Police spokesperson Charles Owino has warned the youth participating in the ongoing Coalition for Reforms and Democracy called protest against any attempt to fight police officers. Owino said that protesters resulting to violently engage law enforcers must know that the life of a police officer comes first in such instances and that they will act in self-defense when their lives are threatened. Although the CORD principals have continued to insist that they will hold the demonstration till the IEBC is disbanded, they set to hold the demonstration come Madaraka Day, saying that they are not afraid of the excessive force used by the police and the tear gas.
Governments exist to underwrite the democratic process, and the Kenya government will do exactly that.
A statement that Kiraithe seemed to agree with, saying that the government will not allow violent demonstration in the country. At the same time, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, has criticized the police for using excessive force during the demonstration. In a statement sent to media houses, IPOA has condemned police act that has led to loss of lives and property. IPOA has stated that it will carry out a probe to investigate the real cause of those reported to have died in the mix-up. Kaletimba MP Mark Lumonokol has appealed to the court coalition to engage in dialogue.
As leaders, we should only embrace dialogue. Dialogue that requires Jubilee participation, court participation, religious organizations. That is the way.
CORD has shown no relent in pushing for the disbandment of the Kenya Electoral Commission through street demonstration, where the government has maintained the process of removing IEBC commissioners should follow the rule of law. Irene Mwangi, KUTV.
Conservationists converged at the United Nations Environmental Assembly and highlighted the world is dealing with an unprecedented spike in illegal wildlife trade, threatening to overturn decades of conservation gains. As KUTV's Ann Macharia reports, the illegal wildlife crime is a big business run by dangerous international networks. Wildlife and animal parts are trafficked much like illegal drugs and arms. Wildlife trade escalates into a crisis when an increasing proportion is illegal and unsustainable, directly threatening the survival of many species in the world.
Kenya set ablaze more than 105 tons of ivory, the 11 giant piles of tusks from around 6,000 elephants, a quantity 7 times the size of any previous band lit by President Uhuru Kenyatta, conservationists, and other government dignitaries. In its second day of sitting at UNEP headquarters at Gigiri, the Parliament of Environment declared illegal wildlife trade, corruption as an integral component undermining environmental conservation. And the impacts of corruption are not only affecting people, our institution and quality of life, but also driving certain species of wild animals and plants to extinction, not to mention some of the world's most charismatic species, such as elephants and rhinos.
It is not for the United Nations to threaten to, in some illusionary form, force a nation to adhere to its own commitments. It is in the parliaments where governments need to be held accountable.
Corruption, toothless laws, weak judicial system, and light sentences allow criminal networks to keep plundering wildlife with a little regard to consequences. These factors make illegal wildlife trade a low-risk business with high returns. The poachers, often poor locals, are usually the one caught, leaving the real masterminds and their network safe and operational with the ability to strike again.
For those who say, oh, the Sustainable Development Goals are too abstract, or some of the agreements under Paris are perhaps not strong enough, I would say to them, go back to the parliaments. This is where citizens can hold you accountable, and if you can prove that a government is not following its own legal obligation, you have your judicial system.
As humans' population have grown, so has the demand of wildlife. People in many countries are accustomed to a life which fuels the demand of wildlife. Ann Macharia for KUTV.
President Uhuru Kenyatta today left for Zambia, where on arrival at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, he was received by senior Zambian government officials and Kenyans living and working in Zambia, led by High Commissioner Sophie Kombe. The president will lead panel discussions on Africa's universal access to energy and job creation for the youth. Kenya is currently the largest producer of geothermal energy in Africa. It is one of 2 countries in Africa that produce geothermal energy, the other being Ethiopia, and it is projected by 2030 the country will be a major exporter of geothermal power in East and Central African region. Uhuru is also set to speak at the African Development Bank annual meetings and later lead a panel of discussions on empowerment, whose theme is Jobs for African Youth. The performance of the economy remains stable as inflation rates decrease. This is according to statistics from the monetary policy that were presented earlier today by the governor of the central bank, Patrick Njoroge. This comes in the backdrop of a struggling banking sector that has been recording poor results that led to some banks being put under receivership.
After the weakening of the global economy following uncertainties in global financial markets that were as a result of an increase in interest rates, slow economic growth in China, and the aftermath of the referendum in the United Kingdom, Kenya's economy is still stable and her relationship with her trading partners is still strong. This even after the banking sector recorded dismal performance that prompted the central bank to put some banks like Chase Bank under receivership. Economists now say that the banking sector has begun to stabilize and has seen inflation rates drop from 6% in 2005 to 5.3% as per April this year.
A wave of insecurity and violence that culminated in the Mpeketoni killings 2 years ago hit wild headlines when terrorism nearly brought down business and tourist operations in Lamu County. However, the First Lady has today said that business and tourism in Lamu are on the recovery path from the past wave of terrorism and violence in the country. The First Lady is in Lamu, where she handed the county the 39th Beyond Zero mobile clinic. Simon Miner with the details.
As she handed over the 39th fully kitted Beyond Zero mobile clinic to the county, the First Lady commended the Lamu people led by their governor Issa Timami for their commitment to build and sustain peace. The First Lady said the insecurity challenge detracted many people from venturing in Lamu for business or leisure in a county that depends on earnings from tourism.
I realize and think that we are all aware that recent security challenges have detracted some people from venturing to Lamu. Honorable Governor Timami and the people of Lamu County for the unity which you have demonstrated in the wake of such challenges, and for the commitment that you have shown to building a peaceful county, and that business and tourism are steadily recovering.
She said the return of security in Lamu was not only good news to the county but the whole country, which to a large extent depends on tourism. The First Lady promised that the Beyond Zero campaign will partner with the county government to raise money to buy a boat ambulance to serve between several islands that are part of Lamu County and where large populations of people live.
That is good news, not just for Lamu, but for Kenya, is by seeking greater investment in healthcare, and particularly in healthcare and vitality of mothers and children.
We shall make sure that we keep adequate resources to run the mobile clinic.
The First Lady also recognized the huge amount of work by the Lamu County government in liberalizing healthcare services for the local people, including maternal healthcare and HIV and AIDS. Lamu now joins 39 other counties that have so far received an equal number of fully kitted mobile clinics that supplement other government initiatives, enabling Kenyans at the grassroots to easily access healthcare services, especially mothers and children. Simon Maina, KUTV.
Stay tuned to KUTV. We'll be back with more. Welcome back to KUTV News at 9. Now moving on, in a somber mood, a 48-year-old man has been arrested for defiling her 6-year-old daughter at Nkarete in Narok South. His wife was also arrested after she tried to take her daughter into hiding to make sure she was not available in court to testify against her father. And as Simon Miner now reports, the woman will be arraigned in court for trying to hide the evidence.
Dreams of the 6-year-old girl from Nkareta in Narok South were shattered after her own father raped her and her own mother tried to take away justice out of her sight. Confirming the incidents, Narok Deputy OCPD Paul Ouma said it occurred on the 23rd and that doctors confirmed that the minor was indeed raped and that the father was responsible.
Mtoto alipelekwa hospitali akatibiwa na daktari akadhibitisha kwamba kweli mtoto alibakwa.
According to Ouma, the minor will be taken care by the Children Office from Narok, where they will get a place for her to stay, since at the time of arrest, her mother was very drunk, evidence that she cannot take care of her daughter.
Tumeongea na idara husika ya watoto ili mtoto awe katika chini ya ulinzi ya idara hiyo, kwa sababu mama pia baada ya kitendo kutendeka, mama alijaribu kuhamisha mtoto mahali pengine.
Mtoto sasa vile tumempokea hivi, tutaenda na yeye tumweke katika children's home, mahali atapata usaidizi na kutunzwa vizuri mpaka tupate mahali ataenda.
A Kenyatta Hospital abstract shows the peak incidence of sexual abuse among children is in the age group of 10 to 15 years, which is 38.1%, followed by 5 to 9 years age group, 28.6%, and strangers and people familiar to the child were equally implicated as assailants. The victims are presented to the hospital within 2 days of the event, usually accompanied by their mothers. It is not surprising that the first national survey of violence against children in Kenya in 2014 reported about a third, which is 31.9% of Kenyan women, experience at least one episode of sexual abuse before reaching the age of 18. Simon Minor, KUTV.
Thank you, Simon Minor. Kenya Wildlife Service officers have arrested one suspect who is caught trying to pack game meat believed to be zebra meat in a gunny bag, getting it ready for transport. KWS has expressed concerns over the alarming trend of wild meat trade that they say poses health dangers to human health. KWS have identified Barmer Market as the common destination within the capital where the meat is mostly transported. Milia Kisienya with an insight on the story.
Kenya has embraced a zero-tolerance approach in the fight against poaching. This is evidenced by the massive burning of a stack of ivory and rhino horns late last month by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Today, a man was apprehended in Naivasha, Manera village by game rangers, trying to pack 200 kilograms of zebra meat in gunny bags, setting them ready for transportation to Nairobi for commercial consumption.
We want to really caution the members of the public to be aware of such people who are selling wildlife meat, and they should actually be buying meat from the designated areas which are inspected.
70% of wild animals around Naivasha and Gilgil wander away from protected areas, and this has made them prey to poachers. However, KWS is adamant it will manage to stop the vice.
We also urge the members of the public to report to us immediately so that we can take action against them.
Human-wildlife conflict at some point has been blamed for the game killings witnessed in the recent past. Milia Kisienya, KUTV.
Kenyatta University has today launched a journal that is aimed at stimulating humanity and social sciences research. The journal, named Chemi Chemi, was a relaunch as it was initially published in 1990. It is said to provide a platform through which researchers can disseminate information. The editors of the journal consist of members of the university board and have urged people to present their articles and at the same time be ready for the review process. The journal also seeks to reach online and international audience.
Before we hear from our guest, keynote speaker this afternoon, we want to give a brief history.
And we are trying to really augment the efforts of the Research, Innovation and Outreach Division of Kenyatta University by providing a platform or a vehicle through which researchers in Kenyatta University can share their findings, can share their thoughts, can share their various visions at individual, at societal level to the wider community. And if we look at the university vision, I think that is one of our core mandates, research and outreach. And we believe through Chemi Chemi, this is exactly what we are doing. We are not reinventing the wheel, but we are just trying to augment what the university is already doing. And
now this has been a very demanding job. But I'm pleased that today we celebrate the success of this publication. It's going to give scholars in humanities and social sciences an opportunity to be able to publish their research findings. The issue that we've just released today attracted articles from the international community. We had only 2 papers actually being published from Kenya. The rest of the papers were from outside, which were taken through a very rigorous review process. A lot of papers were rejected because of their quality. We are taking quality very, very seriously. Professor Fatuma, you are welcome to submit, but you better be sure that...
Moving over to Narok County, the continuing rains have been causing havoc in the country, rendering roads impassable. And now Narok villagers have taken matters into their own hands and have started to reconstruct wrenched roads after their plea to the government proved futile. The men at work are doing the drudgery, funded by a small fee from motorists and passers-by to see off the project.
Villagers in Narok have taken upon themselves to construct roads in a bid to improve the transport challenges they face on a daily basis. The villagers came together to construct the road connecting Ololunga, Melelo and Songo trading centers so that they can ferry agricultural products and get access to health facilities.
Maneno ya county government, hakuna tinga hata moja imekuja kulima hizi mabarabara na tunashangaa devolution ni nini.
Esther Sono, a resident, says the community had been to all government offices to ask for support, but no one seemed to care. He said they have resorted to constructing the roads on their own as they have no other alternative.
Kiongozi wetu akiwa mahali wako sahi, sijui wanafanya ni kama hajakuja kutuonea hiyo mashida yenye tuko naye.
Area village elders said the area had been cut off from the main highway due to poor infrastructure and called on those plying the route to contribute so that they can repair the road by themselves. However, it's crystal clear that the villagers are facing a lot of challenges, including lack of proper equipment for the job.
Welcome to the world of sports. The pointer to what would be expected during the Rio Olympic showdown will be enacted this weekend when the Athletics Kenya National Championship takes place in Nairobi. The 3 days activities is being keenly awaited with bated interest, with track coaches parading their best as the build-up to the August Summer Olympics engages the top gear.
The local track competition draws to a close this weekend after AK affiliated regions concluded their championship ahead of the national annual mouth-watering event for Africa selection. The grassroots competitions are preceded by 6 Athletics Kenya premium track and field events that aided the athletes in their build-up to the fine-tuning of this weekend.
We continue to monitor the performances of our athletes on the local and international circuits, especially in the IAAF Diamond League, which enters its 4th leg in Eugene, Oregon, with a Prefontaine Classic this Saturday.
The 6-leg series were held in Bondo in Nyanza North, as well as Mumias and Thika. The National Championship is a prerequisite for the July Olympic trials, as well as those who are eyeing the African Championship. Kome Kazungu, reporting for KUTV.
Well, Kenya's next focus after the conclusion of the World Rugby 7 series is the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and Shujaa hope to replicate and even better their performance when the shorter version of the game makes its debut. The team jetted back yesterday evening ahead of a 3-week rest before switching gears to Rio, but for the technical bench, there's no time to rest. Ayimba did not return with the rest of the squad to Nairobi as he flew directly to Amsterdam, Netherlands, where a development tournament is on the cards, and the coach hopes to use it to test further talent ahead of the squad selection for the Summer Games.
The Kenya Sevens will take a 3-week break before returning for training ahead of the Rio 2016 preparations. The team arrived in Nairobi yesterday evening from the London Sevens, after winning the shield when they defeated Russia. Before the Olympics, they'll have a satellite tournament. They'll be naming a team to Amsterdam in 2 weeks' time, as well as Rome.
We saw them in the first half score an absolute
I think everything about this tournament has been positive. Although we didn't get to the main cup, I think whatever we wanted to achieve as a team, we were able to do that. Most of the boys got the exposure to the tournament and they were able to play their part. They played very well, and that is something we are looking at for the future. And we played very well at Paris and both in London, although we didn't get to the main cup in London.
Paris and London was especially Paris was good for us. We went for 10 points, of which we got, and going to London, we wanted also to get 10 points, but the fixture, the pooling was actually tough than we expected. We're in the same pool with the Scotland, of which they won the tournament. The target actually was set at 90, so for us, I think the 8 more points on top of what us as a team and management, technical bench we had set, is good for us. And we wanted to get to 100, but our target actually was, as we started the season, was first. We get to top 10, of which now we finished 7th position. Then we were to win one of the tournament, of which we won Singapore.
For Murunga, all the season targets were achieved in the just ended season, with Kenya winning on high 98 points. Kome Kazungu, reporting for KUTV.
From Nelson Oyo, well, it's wonderful, isn't it?
Well, we surely have faith in our Rugby Sevens team. They will make us proud. Now, thank you so much for tuning in to KUTV News on 9. Tune in tomorrow for a more comprehensive bulletin. My name is Jesse Rogers. Have yourself a good night.